and gym memberships also in the description as well. But yeah, welcome back to yet another video. This is my third and probably final video of today. I probably could keep going, but my voice will probably get sore after this. So today's video is superstitions from around the world. Hopefully I'll have enough to do this video and it won't be repeats of other ones. But honestly, when I was planning the videos this morning, I was kind of thinking, oh, I've done everything, but of course I haven't. But yeah, I really need to switch it up and stuff like that. But yeah, let's read the intro. So, irrational as they may be, we all have a superstition or two. Whether it's lucky pair of pants or an aversion to Friday the 13th, superstitions are important to us because they give meaning to the often random nature of luck and put us in the driving seat of our destiny. Here we run through the surprising cultural histories behind some of the world's most common supernatural beliefs. So, knocking on wood, so Indo-European, Celtic, or possibly British, so like the origin. Any list of superstitions would have to begin with arguably the most well-known and universal superstition, to knock on wood. The actual origins and even meanings of the phrase are as varied as the cultures would use it, with some suggesting roots in the Indo-European or Celtic belief that spirits good and bad resided in trees who would be either called upon for protection or chased away by knocking on their home, and others, particularly Christians, linking the practice to the magical power of the wooden crucifix. Most likely among the different theories, historians have attributed the superstition to a 19th century British children's game called Ticky Touchwood, in which young players claiming immunity from being attacked by touching the nearest piece of wood. Adults picked up on the habit and the phrase. The British still say touch wood today, and the rest is history. So I guess, like, if you're saying, thank the whatever that this hasn't happened yet, and I don't know, touch wood, that you're not cursing yourself. As with many superstitions, there are subtle variations and sometimes not so subtle varying origins. Italians touch steel rather than wood, perhaps more related to iron horseshoes. Poles and Russians touch unpainted wood. Turks not twice. Latin American knock on wood with no legs, i.e. chairs. It's best to memorize them all before traveling. So, throwing salt over your shoulder, perhaps the next most common superstition, at least in the West, involves tossing salt over one's shoulder, like knocking on wood. This superstition also involves the idea of warding off evil, in this case the devil himself. In Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, Jesus' betrayer Judas Iscariot, I'm not sure how to say it, is portrayed as having accidentally spilled salt. Since Judas was associated with doing something bad, the argument goes that ipso facto, so was salt and throwing it over your shoulder would have blinded the devil waiting there. Since in other versions of the superstition, Old Scratch was thought to reside just over your left shoulder, ready to tempt you, the salt was throwing to the left. Still, some others say the sheer value of salt alone in ancient times led to the belief that to spell it was to incur bad fortune, like among Romans, requiring a corresponding ritual or act of penance to prevent worse loss from occurring. So, I'm not sure if I've ever done this, but I guess sometimes, when you take out a bit of salt to put on a sauce or something, but you don't want to put it all in the sauce because that might make the sauce too salty, so it's better to, I guess, throw the salt than to make your sauce too salty. But if it is pasta, maybe the pasta could have salt, because people say this, people say when you're doing pasta, have it as salty as a sea. I'm not sure if that would actually go into the pasta, or I'm not sure why, but so walking under a ladder, European, Christian, and possibly Egyptian. The superstition of not wanting to walk under a ladder also has roots in Christian symbolism. The Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit led to an association of number 3 with something sacred. The triangle with its 3 sides came to be regarded as sacred as well. And a ladder, of course, forms a triangle, so naturally to walk onto that ladder would be to destroy the sanctity of the Trinity and thus incur punishment. The ladder's resemblance to a gallows also didn't help matters, nor did the fact of the obvious danger of something falling from it. Finally, the Egyptians apparently thought that one might accidentally spot a god going up or down on a ladder, and so avoided it. Must have made building all those tall pyramids difficult. Okay. Broken mirror, ancient Greek, Roman, European, etc. So, the belief that a broken mirror brings bad luck most likely has its origins in the simple fact that reflections of ourselves are uncanny and often unnerving, particularly on a bad hair day. So humans have long had a bad association with them. Take, for example, the Greek myth of Narcissus, or the idea that a crack in a mirror would somehow break its charm or trap one's soul. It was the ancient Romans, however, who contributed the notion that a broken mirror would bring 7 years of bad luck, since it was believed that only poor health would cause a mirror to crack, and the number 7 was seen by the Romans as the number of years required to complete a full life cycle of sickness and renewal. As a result, a broken mirror meant you were heading towards a death spiral that might take 7 years to pull yourself out of. But then those same Romans felt you could prevent that horrible outcome by gathering the broken pieces of the mirror and burying them by moonlight. So should we really trust them about all the bad luck stuff? So, step on a crack, break your mother's back. African and European folklore. Another superstition involving something cracked or broken being associated with bad luck is the superstition of stepping on a crack as foretelling or even causing harm to a family member. As with mirrors, cracks in the earth or sidewalk or almost anywhere have long been seen as portals to the realm of the supernatural. For both good and ill, to step on those cracks might be to invite or release unwelcome spirits into the world ready to do one harm. But sometimes people want to step only on the cracks in the pavement. So that will be breaking all the family members' backs. That's what I feel like I did sometimes. Not step on the crack. So lucky pennies, ancient Roman, English, American. The idea that finding a penny would bring good luck also originates in folk beliefs, in this case based on the idea that metal, regarded by many ancient cultures as quite valuable, was sent by the gods to protect those whom they favored. Pennies being made from metal, find them and you'll have good fortune, but be careful. Some say that luck could break anyway, and that if you find a penny tails up, you should turn it over and leave it for the next person, or you'll actually have bad luck. But yeah, lucky horseshoe. Ancient Roman, Celtic, British Isles, Europe. So another object commonly thought to be lucky is the horseshoe. Earliest origins of the horseshoe's function as a good luck charm reside in its full shape seen upside down and the invocation of the pagan moon goddess Diana and her sacred vulva. As with pennies, the metal being seen as both valuable and magical, iron in particular was thought by early Europeans as something capable of warding off evil spirits. And as with the Romans and the lucky number 7, horseshoes frequently featured 7 nail holes. And yeah, the most famous story of a horseshoe bringing good luck, however, refers to the story of Saint Dunstan, who apparently worked as a blacksmith prior to attaining sainthood. The story goes that one day the devil rode into Dunstan's shop requesting new shoes for his horse. Dunstan, recognizing the devil, played it off nonchalantly, and rather than nail the shoes to the horse, nailed one to the devil's foot instead. In agony, the devil agreed never to enter her house with a horseshoe nailed above the door, if Dunstan would simply agree to remove the shoe. So, yeah, it's probably not noticeable, but I am trying to talk slower. At one stage, I think it was even before I went to Paris for the marathon, I think getting good at talking slower. And then I went back and I just wasn't used to filming because I had pre-filmed for weeks. And yeah, also that was kind of annoying. Like, I pre-filmed them and like scheduled them all, and like they weren't getting that many views. And I was thinking, do you think it's anything to do with scheduling videos and perhaps they don't do as well? So I think if I were to do it again, I could easily bring my hard drive with me and have all the videos prepared, the thumbnails made. All I would have to do is upload them on the day itself. So you wouldn't have the description ready and everything. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you could have all the descriptions ready in a document. But you know, let's do the tags and all of that. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's been all that work doing it in advance. So Friday the 13th, European/Christian. So like the number 7 for the Romans, magical significance has been attached to number 13, but this time it's unlucky rather than lucky. The number 12 is frequently be seen as positive, 12 months of the year and 12 signs of the zodiac, for example, or 12 days of Christmas and 12 tribes of Israel, naturally making its nearest neighbor number to the north negative. Like other superstitions surrounding the Last Supper, the 13th is also seen as unlucky because once again, the great betrayer, Judas Iscariot, was the 13th member of the dinner party that led to Christ's crucifixion. Dude couldn't catch a break. In addition, on Friday the 13th of October, 1307, killing Philip IV of France arrested and put to death hundreds of the Templar Knights. So, blanket cats, of whatever reason, this article is like written, it's like on the white text on the whatever, it's really hard to read at some points. So, European, though cats have often been associated with good luck rather than its opposite, or even worshipped as gods in ancient Egypt, things took a turn for the worse for our dark-coloured feline friends sometime around the Dark Ages, when in 1232 AD, a papal bull by Pope Gregory IX declared them an incarnation of Satan. According to People magazine, things only went downhill for black cats from there, with people of the Middle Ages burning them in bonfires on holy days like Shrove Tuesday, the first Sunday of Lent, and even Easter, and with the Puritans in America connected them to the practice of witchcraft. Also, the colour black is long been associated with evil and death, which didn't help matters for our furry friends who had the misfortune of being born the colour of night. Fingers crossed. So, Western Europe, pagan and Christian. The superstition of crossing one finger is bringing the lucky finger crosser. Good luck comes from pre-Christian pagan times in Western Europe, when the practice of making a cross with your own and the index finger of another person was thought to concentrate the forces of good spirits and to seal a pact or wish with the fellow crosser. Over time, people realized they could simply bless their own wishes by crossing first their 2 index fingers and then later simply the index and middle fingers of one's hand, which is what we do today. So, another narrative pins the practice on early Christians who would greet. I think that was cut off. Oh, greet and identify one another in a secret with various symbols like crossing the index fingers, touching thumbs, etc. This explanation doesn't have the virtue of accounting for the association with good luck. So, chewing gum at night. Turkey. So, have you ever had a irrational fear of accidentally consuming dead flesh. Well, in Turkey, it is thought that after dark, chewing gum is magically transformed, like the Mogwai in the movie Gremlins, who turn into the titular monsters if they eat after midnight into the flesh of the dead. Okay. The number 4, China. As we've seen with numbers like 13 and 7, numbers are frequently assigned different magical significance or status depending on the culture in question. For the Chinese, the number 4 is a no-no due to the similarity in its pronunciation in Chinese to the word for death. Writing love letters to Juliet, Capulet, Verona, Italy. In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the male member of the doomed pair of lovers was known to frequent the foot of Juliet's balcony in order to send up his nightly entreaties and missives of love at the Casa di Giulietta in Verona, Italy, where the Capuletti family supposedly lived at Via Capello 23. Visitors can write their own love letters too, and even rub the right breast of the nearby statue of Juliet. This is all done in hopes of earning her favour, like the Romeo of long ago, even if the pair themselves were not so lucky. And I'm not sure if they actually do, but that was another fact in a different video. And like in the movie as well, Letters to Juliet, it's like they answer letters sent to Juliet. Like the Juliet writers, and the main character found one, a really old one in the rock somewhere, and responded to it. And then her grandson came in and was like, I wrote this letter to my grandmother, and was like, you give her false hope. And then they go on this big journey of searching for her Romeo. So the curse of the evil eye, Mediterranean and Middle East. It's a common belief spanning the Mediterranean, Middle East, and South Asia that's been held for thousands of years, that to achieve too much success would be to invite the anger, inspire the envy of the gods, who would then smite the unfortunate individual with a reversal of fortune. In response to the fear of the curse, people across the ancient Mediterranean began fashioning amulets and beads in the image of an evil eye, sometimes referred to as Nazar, which would then help ward off that horrible untoward fate. And I did get a bracelet at some point, someone who had been to Greece, I believe, or something, or Turkey, I don't know, and this bracelet with that evil eye. So tucking thumbs inside of a cemetery, Japan. Like the fear of the word for in China, hinging on the similarity in its pronunciation to the Chinese word for death, the Japanese similarly tuck in their thumbs when in a cemetery, visiting the graves of dead relatives. This comes from the connection between the Japanese word for thumb and its meaning as the parent finger. To tuck one's thumbs inside a cemetery then is to protect one's parents from death. Giving yellow flowers, Russia. So like numbers, colors have frequently been assigned symbolic significance, like black being seen as the color of bad luck and red the color of passion. In Russia, yellow flowers in particular are seen as problematic, as they thought to represent infidelity, separation, or even death. So, sweeping feet, South America. So, if you happen to be on a cleaning spree in Brazil, you'll want to steer clear of brooms, or at least be careful. South Americans believe that if your feet are swept over by a broom, you will remain single for the rest of your life. The curse can be broken if you immediately spit on the broom. The exact origins of this superstition are unknown, but legend has it that a woman who cannot keep house does not a good wife make. So, itchy palms, Caribbean. Depending which palm of yours begins to itch, you may find yourself in the Caribbean with a bit of extra spending money, or in the red. It is a common belief that an itchy left palm means you will owe money soon, whereas an itchy right palm means money is coming your way. There is an explanation that might tell us why such a distinction. The left hand seems to hold passive energy and the right hand active energy. symbolically could explain the coming in and out of money. So that's the end of that article, and let's hope there's going to be new ones, because if not, this video will be much shorter than usual. So always God bless a sneeze. In most English-speaking countries, it's polite to respond to another person's sneeze by saying God bless you, though incantations of good luck have accompanied sneezes across disparate cultures for thousands of years, all largely tied to the belief that sneezes expelled evil spirits. Our particular custom began in the 6th century AD by explicit order of Pope Gregory the Great. A terrible pestilence was spreading through Italy at the time. The first symptom was severe chronic sneezing, and this was often quickly followed by death. Pope Gregory urged the healthy to pray for the sick in order that light-hearted responses to sneezes such as "May you enjoy good health" be replaced by the more urgent "God bless you." If a person sneezed when alone, the Pope recommended they say a prayer for themselves in the form of "God help me." So yeah, there was a few there. This one, carrying a rabbit's foot. So the belief stems from the ancient belief of totemism, the spiritual connection between animals and humans. If a tribe believed they descended from rabbits, it wasn't unusual for them to carry around parts of a rabbit's body, particularly the feet. The foot is also a phallic symbol that represents increased fertility, a bountiful harvest, and good fortune. According to howstuffworks.com, Celtic tribes believed that rabbits could speak with underground gods and spirits thanks to their burrows. Another reason why carrying a rabbit's foot could bring luck. Speaking of superstition, it links you something else. Find a 4-leaf clover. According to Scientific American, the chances of finding a 4-leaf clover are 1 in 10,000, making the find a lucky thing in and of itself. But the luck of the clover dates back to Adam and Eve, according to howstuffworks.com. Legend has it that as Adam and Eve were leaving the Garden of Eden, Eve plucked a 4-leaf clover as a souvenir. Another theory dates back to the ancient Celtic world. It was believed that 4-leaf clovers would help ward off evil spirits. There was also a medieval theory that possessing the lucky plant allowed one to see fairies. Wearing black for mourning. While you might not think twice about it, wearing black stems from superstition, according to HuffPost. Many ancient cultures actually considered death to be contagious. It was wise to avoid someone who would recently be around a dead person. In Rome, wearing all black was a way to let everyone know you'd be in the presence of death. I didn't know that. Breaking wishbones. So breaking the wishbone, the furcula of a turkey, duck, or chicken comes up at Thanksgiving, Christmas, but people have been making wishes on poultry bones since around 700 BC, according to howstuffworks.com. The Etruscans believed that birds could tell the future, and drying out and then stroking the bone could grant the power of foresight and make wishes come true. When Romans adopted the superstition, they began cracking the bones in half to spread the luck. Eventually, breaking the bone became the act that granted wishes. It's wishing on eyelashes. So you can thank 18th century Britain and Ireland for all the wishes you've made on lost eyelashes. A version from Shropshire, England recommends that if an eyelash falls out, you put it on the back of your hand, make a wish, and throw it over your shoulder. If it flies off your hand, your wish will come true. If it's still there, too bad. Another approach popular among Cornish schoolgirls was to place the eyelash on the tip of her nose or the back of her hand. If she can blow it off, her wish will come true. And I guess the whole hand, then you can't keep going until it goes. You have to guess the first time, I guess. Rabbit. Why some people insist on saying rabbit once, twice, or 3 times when they wake on the first day of the month has a murky origin. While it may go back association with rabbit feet. According to people, the first known documentation of the superstition can be found in a 1909 edition of the Quarterly Scholar Journal, Notes and Queries, and notated in a dictionary of English folklore. But apparently FD or swore by the habit, and the kids channel Nickelodeon revived the superstition in the 90s with a rabbit day on the last day of each month to remind children to say it the next morning. So yeah, let's see if there's any more we have not done, but probably not. Ancient Egyptians believed umbrellas were royal and their shade was sacred. Opening one indoors was considered an insult to the god of the sun. Did we talk about this though? No. Umbrellas were fashioned out of papyrus and peacock feathers and designed to the likeness of the Egyptian goddess of the sky, Nut. An umbrella's shade was therefore sacred and strictly reserved for Egyptian nobility. Anyone else who dared to step into the shadow space was considered sacrilegious. Opening an umbrella indoors went against its natural purpose and could consequently be considered an insult to the god of the sun, according to some historians. I just thought umbrella, you might have done that one before, because when I was doing the trivia video, there was something with an umbrella, and it was making me think of rain and umbrellas, and I remember talking about umbrellas, but it wasn't to do with this, so yeah. A Greek astronomer named Ptolemy theorized the presence of shooting stars when the gods were bearing down from the sky and open to granting our wishes. According to Ptolemy, I'm saying it wrong, the gods had to open up the space that divides the earth sky from the divine sphere in order to watch over humanity. Shooting stars were wont to slip through the great divider. So if you saw one place into the night sky, you knew the gods are watching and listening to you. I feel like there was something wrong with that sentence, but yeah, we're gonna go back to ChatGPT to see. Okay. The number 666 is the mark of the beast. So, origin, the superstition comes from the Bible, specifically the book of Revelation. The number 666 is referred to as the number of the beast and is associated with the Antichrist. This number has since become a symbol of evil in various cultures, with this ominous reputation being rooted in its biblical and apocalyptic connotations. Spilling water is a sign of good luck, so origin, the superstition is rooted in various cultures where spilled water was seen as a positive omen. In some cultures, it is believed that spilling water cleanses and brings freshness, thus attracting good fortune. Additionally, in some traditions, it was thought that spilled water symbolized the release of old stagnant energy and the welcoming of new positive influences. Let's see. Never say goodbye on the phone. Origin, the superstition is rooted in the belief that saying goodbye directly on the phone invites bad luck or even death. The origin is unclear, but it may stem from old beliefs that such words could invoke spirits or bad omens. So, throwing coins into a fountain or well for good luck. This superstition dates back to ancient Rome and Greece, where coins were thrown into fountains or wells, offerings to water deities, in hopes of receiving blessings or good fortune. The practice symbolizes respect and the desire for a wish to be granted. It's bad luck to open a door with your left foot. This superstition is linked to the belief the left side associated with bad luck or negative energy. Many cultures, the left side is considered less fortunate or evil, and certain actions like entering a room with the left foot was thought to invite misfortune. And this was the same thing with the money, with the itchy hand, wasn't it? Left was you're gonna lose money, right? Gain money, maybe. Never start a journey on a Friday. Friday has long been associated with bad luck due to its connection with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in Christian tradition. This belief was carried over into everyday superstitions, would start any new venture or journey on a Friday being seen as likely to end in failure. But I feel like a lot of people do that because it will be the end of the working week. They want to get away early to enjoy like the Saturday Saturday somewhere. They might set off on a Friday, you know. Wishing upon a star. So ancient cultures, including the Greeks and Romans, believed that stars were deities and were closely connected to the divine. Wishing upon a star was seen as a way to seek favor from those celestial beings and to fulfill personal desires. If a bird enters your home, it's a bad omen. And this superstition likely dates back to ancient times when birds were seen as messengers between the gods and humans. Bird entering a home was interpreted as a sign of impending death or disaster because it was believed to carry bad news. But like an owl, like in Harry Potter, they would enter. But they could also bring good news in the letter. I don't know. Spilling wine or liquor is a sign of good luck. In some cultures, spilling alcohol was considered a form of offering to the gods or spirits. This belief is that the the gods would favor those who spilled a bit of their drink, and it symbolized abundance and blessings. It's bad luck to cross your legs while sitting. The superstition may stem from the belief that crossing your legs could restrict the flow of good energy or luck. In some cultures, it was also thought to be inappropriate or improper way to sit, leading to bad fortune. If a candle flickers, it means a spirit is present. The flickering of a candle flame has been associated with spirits or supernatural entities across various cultures. The idea is that flickering flame indicates the presence of an unseen force or spirit trying to communicate. Never leave a hat on the bed. Origin in the past, leaving a hat on a bed was seen as an invitation for bad luck or misfortune. This belief might have originated from the notion that hats were worn in places of public and were therefore considered ugly or disrespectful to a place on a bed. If your ears are burning, someone is talking about you. This superstition is based on the idea that if someone is talking about you, it will manifest as a physical sensation, such as burning ears. The belief may come from ancient customs or folk beliefs that personal gossip affects physical sensations. If a dog howls, it's a sign of death. The howling of a dog has often been associated with death or misfortune in various cultures. Dogs have been thought to have a heightened sensitivity to supernatural events, and their howling was interpreted as a sign that death was imminent or that spirits were near. It's bad luck to pass someone on the stairs. This superstition is thought to originate from the belief that the staircase is a liminal space where the physical and spiritual worlds meet. Passing someone on the stairs was seen as disruption of this balance, leading to bad luck or conflict. So there was actually some new ones there. I just wish they had like a little more explanation, but yeah. So if you dream about someone, they're thinking of you. This belief may have roots in ancient and medieval thought, where dreams were considered beliefs or messages or omens. It was believed that if someone appeared in your dreams, it was because they were thinking about you or had a spiritual connection with you. Eating 12 grapes at midnight on New Year's Eve. In Spain, this tradition involves eating 12 grapes at midnight to ensure good luck for each month of the coming year. The custom began in the early 20th century when Spanish grape growers promoted it as a way to boost grape sales. It's interesting. If a single woman steps on a mouse, it should remain single. This superstition may come from old beliefs that small creatures like mice are messengers or omens. Stepping on a mouse was considered a bad omen for a woman's future prospects, possibly reflecting old-fashioned views on marriage and fortune. But like, how likely is they're actually going to step on a mouse? I mean, really? If you see a spider, it's a sign of good luck. In some cultures, spiders are viewed as a symbol of good fortune. This belief may originate from the spider's role in folklore as a protector or bringer of prosperity, symbolizing creativity and patience. Don't put new shoes on the table. This superstition may have originated from the practical consideration that placing shoes on a table, a place for food and family, was unsanitary. Over time, it became associated with bad luck, symbolizing disrespect for the home and its inhabitants. The first person to enter a home after midnight. In Scotland and part of Northern Ireland, in Scotland and parts of Northern England, the first person to enter a home after find a hair in your food, it means someone's thinking of you. This superstition came from old beliefs about bodily elements like hair being connected to personal thoughts and emotions. Finding a hair in your food was thought to be a sign that someone close to you was thinking of you, or they had a spiritual connection. If you cross paths with a funeral procession, it's bad luck. And this superstition stems from the belief that encountering a funeral procession is an omen of death or misfortune. It may also be related to the idea that funerals are a transitional time, and crossing paths with one could be seen as disrupting this transition. Seeing a rainbow means good luck. Rainbows have long been seen as omens or signs from the gods in many cultures. The appearance of a rainbow is often interpreted as a symbol of hope and promise, with the belief that it brings good luck and signifies the end of troubles. Whistling indoors brings bad luck. This superstition may come from old beliefs that whistling indoors can invite evil spirits or bad luck into the home. It could also stem from the idea that whistling could disrupt the atmosphere of a space, making it vulnerable to misfortune. If you drop a fork, expect a visitor. If you drop a knife, expect a fight. This superstition likely comes from the idea that dropped utensils can signal different types of social interactions. Dropping a fork, a tool used for eating and sharing, might indicate a visitor come to share a meal. Dropping a knife is associated with conflict and cutting. Could foreshadow an argument. So yeah, that is the end of today's video. It seemed we had enough between all the sources for videos. So yeah, I'm ready. This will be the last one I will film today. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Okay, so